Welcome to the Purposes of God. This is your host, Doug Krieger of the Tribulation Network, and this is the first in a presentation of some 26 PowerPoint videos on Bible prophecy and the world in which we live in its relationship to Bible prophecy. Daniel 12:4 records in the Amplified Version of the Scriptures, "Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great." Again, this is your host, Doug Krieger, for the first of 26 video presentations, and we can be found at www.the-tribulation-network.com. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you will build me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things my hand has made, and all those things exist. Isaiah 66:1 and 2. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. John chapter 1 and verse 3. Our index to the purposes of God are fairly extensive. In video 1, this particular video, we will be giving you a brief introduction. In video 2, we'll be moving into Sir Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics and also calculus, with regards to Prisca Sapientium and Prisca Theologia and his search for both. And we'll explain these terms to you later on. In video 3, we'll be discussing the 2520 or the 25.20-inch sacred cubit and its relationship to the handwriting on the wall found in the book of Daniel with regards to the downfall of King Belteshazzar's Neo-Babylonian Empire. In video 4, we'll continue with this individual, Sir Isaac Newton, and who is a man of science but also a man of prophecy, who wrote extensively on this subject. In video 5, the sacred cubit and the statute mile, the British promotion and discovery thereof, and its ultimate arrival into the King James Version of the Scriptures immediately after the passing of Queen Elizabeth I. Video 6, the nautical mile and its relationship to the statute mile, and more on the sacred cubit. Then in videos 7 and 8, we'll be discussing the measurements from Jerusalem to Gentile world powers in their relationship to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. As we move into video 9, we'll be discussing the ministry of Jesus insofar as its time and distance in its relationship to the geological areas of the Middle East. In video 10, we'll be discussing relationships between the United States of America and Jerusalem, and how the earth, the moon, and the sun are in relationship to the Temple Mount. In video 11 and in 12, we'll be moving into Draco, constellation Draco, and the 12 houses of the zodiac. And this involves what the scriptures call the dragon's tail, the number 666, and the coming age of Aquarius, which we feel has every chance of starting right around 2012. In video 13 and 14, we'll be discussing the Great Pyramid at Giza, Egypt, and its peculiar relationship to the apocalypse. And then in video 15 and 16, we'll go into greater detail with 2012, then 2016, 2018, and 19. And if you do a little bit of math here, 2012 plus 7 will bring you to 2019. Therefore, this will be a discussion of Daniel's 70th week, the abomination of desolation, and thank God, the year of Jubilee. Parts 1 and 2 will be discussing in video 15 and 16. As we move into videos 17 and 18, we'll be carrying on a further discussion about the measurements of the New Jerusalem. That's the New Jerusalem, the coming New Jerusalem, and its relationship to the moon, the earth, and the sun, parts 1 and 2. In video 19, and this will be a wrap on the measurements of the New Jerusalem and the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is also called the Pillar of Enoch. In video 20 and 21 and 22, we'll be moving into the measurements of the Ark of the Covenant and of the Temple of Solomon and the fourth temple of Ezekiel, parts 1, 2, and 3. Our final 4 videos will be on the millenarian temple of Ezekiel, chapters 40 through 48. There will be 4 separate segments related to this, and we'll be bringing in a lot of the material that we'd already been discussing and integrate it into this final presentation in videos 23 to 26. Our appreciations for assistance in editing by Dean McGriff, technical assistance by Rod Brace, audio and video, and Guy Mitz, our webmaster for the Tribulation Network. Again, this is a special presentation of the TribNet, also known as the Tribulation Network, and I will be your host, Doug Krieger, during this period of time. A dedication page was necessary, we felt. This presentation is dedicated posthumously to Queen Elizabeth I of England, 1533 through 1603, whose accession to the throne at age 25 led her to quote Psalm 118, "It is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes." That was on November the 20th, 1558, when she ascended to the throne of England. Even in this, her destiny to give birth to the Church of England and to the King James Version of the Bible immediately after her passing, which was compiled between 1604 and 1611, astounds in that she, at the age of 25, when she ascended to the throne on the 20th of November, preserves in her ascendancy the sacred cubit, 2520, which she and the British so assiduously sought after and preserved in Scripture. 25.20 inches equals 1 cubit, 1 sacred cubit, we might add. And yes, this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. The purposes of God. To illuminate those geometric and mathematical truths embedded in the Scripture of truth, which highlight major prophetic themes, past, present, and future from the Scriptures. Especially pertinent to the purposes of God are those themes dealing with creation, Noah's Ark, the Great Pyramid of Giza, or Enoch's Pillar, the Exodus from Egypt, and the Ark of the Covenant, the 4 temples of Israel, Solomon's, Ezra, Herod, the 2nd temple, the future 3rd temple of Daniel's 70th week, and the 4th temple, or millenarian temple, found in Ezekiel's temple, chapter 40 through 48 of the book of Ezekiel, and the New Jerusalem at the close of the book of Revelation, or the Apocalypse, as well as the Temple Mount versus the Gentile world powers. All of the above are essential as to their measurements to the solar system and to one another, and to the ultimate purpose of the dimensions of paradise, the New Jerusalem. The spiritual conflict of the ages, the church's struggle with principalities and powers in heavenly places, as seen in the zodiac, dragon's tail, and other heavenly bodies. Prophetical implications regarding Israel's place in history, past, present, and future, and the church's relationship with Israel. What are the purposes of God alluded to in Daniel 12:4, which are destined to become great and increase at the end of time by those who search anxiously through the Scripture of truth unto the coming of the Son of Man? In video 1, we'll be giving a brief introduction to the purposes of God. The heavens declare the glory of God. and the expanse of heaven the work of his hands. Their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them he has set a tabernacle for the sun, which is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. Its rising is from one end of heaven, and its circuit to the other end. The heavens declare his righteousness, and all the people see his glory. Psalm 19 and Psalm 97:6. And the teachers and those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament. And those who turn many to righteousness, to uprightness and right standing with God, shall give forth light like the stars forever and ever. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes, as revealed by his prophets, shall be increased and become great. Daniel 12:3 and 4 from the Amplified Version of the Scriptures. We'd like to acknowledge some of the individuals who provided us material for our work here during these 26 presentations. In particular, we'd like to thank David Flynn for his outstanding research on so many of these items. Dr. Gavin Finley, a dear brother originally from Australia, medical doctor down in Florida, whose efforts at some of these, some of our content is so deeply appreciated. L. Leroy Neff, Thomas Horn, Lambert Dolphin, Lean Rittmeyer, Asher Kaufman, Tony Badillo, and the Temple Institute in Jerusalem, and for all those whose love for the Almighty's purposes in creation through time and space continue to inspire this author until Messiah shall come to his holy temple. And that is sincerely presented by myself and with my co-worker Dean McGriff, who shares in so many of these convictions, in fact nearly all of them. This concludes the first half of the introduction, 1A. Please go to video number 1B to finish the introduction of the purposes of God. Again, thank you for viewing and listening. Again, this is your host, Doug Krieger of the Tribulation Network.